I'm looking at the man in the mirror, I need a break. Stress weighs on my soul until it starts to ache. Time pass on these past tracks, what a waste, and I'ma let you in for a moment. They said he holded a rock, told it a block, go your product to my town.
Yo, here we go, man. Spittin' with Spitter, Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. prime time, man. It's double session Wednesday. This morning I had Christina Wilson from Hell's Kitchen, and y'all showed out in record numbers to pay attention to that episode, man. And before we get to my guest, let me pay some dues, man. Tune into YouTube, 21ML Media. Click the like, click the subscribe. Go to my Facebook, Spittin' with Spitter page. Like that shit. We have some shows coming up. We got Around the Turnbuckle on Saturday and Sunday at 6 p.m. with Professor Keith and the Big Alboski. We got Cypher Knowledge with Chrissy at 8 p.m. on Sunday. And we got Home Team Tuesday nights, sports. That's out of the way. My guy, Horace Jenkins, former Detroit Piston. What's up, my guy?
What's up, man? TJ, man. It's a pleasure. I appreciate you having me, man. And it's even more, on my birthday, man, for me to get a chance to just chop it up with you, kind of, interact and share some of my experiences or whatever, let you kind of pick my brain on probably some things that we have never just got a chance to actually sit down and talk about. So I'm excited about it, man. I appreciate you having me on or whatever, man. And it's a blessing, man. Salute to you, man. And keep doing what you're doing,
my brother. Let me start off by saying happy birthday, my guy.
I appreciate that, man.
Major blessings to you, man. You know how we get down.
Most definitely.
We got comments coming in already, man. We got my brother Alan. Let's go. We got Prince Shango. Yeah, Ben Jocks. We got some birthday love coming in. It's all love, man.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Salute to all the followers, all the viewers, and the people that's watching, man. I appreciate the love, man. Thanks for the birthday love.
There is a ton of birthday love coming in, my God. Yo, you just a kid from Eastwick, right?
Yeah.
New Jersey, stand up.
It.
Yo, let's talk about how organically we met.
Right.
Because everybody's like, oh, you just know NBA players and you just know all these. It's not like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. It's crazy because, I remember, and the way that we met was through something that I love doing, through basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. We were arch rivals, you coaching or whatever, you liked the way that I played. We chopped it up at the end of the game. And after chopping it up, we realized kind of the similarities and things that we both like, you know what I'm saying? Whether it was just musically and just ideas from, so many different aspects and avenues of just life, you know what I mean? And it's funny how a basketball brought this together. And, I remember this like yesterday when we met, it's kind of like, yo, give me your number. And, I'm always chopping it up with people, but, when you connect with somebody, that's a little different for me, and I just kind of connected with you right away. You know what I'm saying? That's just the Most High, man. I think God knows how to connect people that genuinely have a passion for just trying to help others grow, you know what I'm saying? Or inspire other people, man. And, when we met maybe 12 years ago, I don't know the exact, but we never look back, man. And every day, whether we talk twice a week or twice a month, we always pick up what we left off at, man. And for me, I'm forever grateful to have, to have somebody that's as solid as you, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I think we get time askew. I knew this person all my life. It's funny how you can develop a relationship with somebody in a shorter span of time that you probably known all your life or whatever. And that's just energy for me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. That's that positive energy that we talk about, them good vibes. And like, let's be clear. When we were arch rivals, I was talking crazy to you before I even knew who you were. I knew you was just killing us, and I was like, "Oh no, we dead in this right now. Let me start talking crazy." And that was probably one of the worst mistakes, coaching wise, that I made, is to start talking to a cold-blooded assassin like that.
That's funny, TJ, because I remember that, man, and it was just like, it was all in love, but it was just like you lit a match. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always play better under those circumstances. I like, oh, he talking. Okay, so now let's turn it up or whatever. And it was funny. And it's crazy because that's how we connected at the end of the game. You said, yo, man, yo, you for real, man. I appreciate you, man. And it was just, for me, it was all love. You know what I'm saying? After the game, we just kicked it, chopped it up or whatever. And it was crazy because if it was outside people looking at it, the way we was talking, they probably think like, man, they don't even like each other. But it wasn't even like that. It was combat was art of war type thing, man. You know what I'm saying? But that art of war type atmosphere brought us together. You know what I'm saying? Connected us or whatever.
Right.
So, that's just
hey, yo, can you excuse me real quick? My dog need to go out.
Yeah, Jason, man. He was talking big smack, man.
Yo, that's my brother Cleve. Cleve know too, cause my mouth moved, man. I don't care who you are. And that shit that day got me in trouble
I know. I've seen you even once we got close. I've seen you in action. You know what I'm saying? And it's just it's all love. If you ain't mentally tough enough, you'll break somebody. You know what I'm saying? But I come from that era and I love it. I thrive off that, man. So it was love, man. It was love for me.
I just keep thinking about the Forks Township, the lights on.
Yeah.
You and Terrence was going back and forth, straight assassins. I think Chris was on one end talking, I was on the other end talking.
Right.
It was wild, man. And it turned into such a beautiful relationship.
Yeah, most definitely. And see, that's the thing that I don't want to get lost at, man. I'm forever grateful for that. You know what I'm saying? Because I've met a lot of people in my life. I've been playing, professionally overseas and just playing basketball for as long as I have. I've encountered with a lot of people, multiple people, and I've developed some great relationships or whatever. And that's why for the game of basketball, I'm forever grateful, because this game that I love so much has connected me with so many people that I extend and look at as brothers. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And if it wasn't for the game of basketball, I don't know that I'd have these type of relationships. Not that basketball is who I am, but basketball has allowed me to connect with people on a level that I probably would have never gotten to had it not been for basketball. I'm a great person off the court, and I don't want people to think, the way that I am on the court is the way that I am off the court. Nah, know me, me and you talk, and we sometimes talk in the park after the game for 2 hours after the game. You know what I'm saying? That's the genuine love that I have for you and respect that I have for you. So you already know how that goes.
And likewise, and it's reciprocated. And I think like a lot of the men that we talk to, that we associate ourselves with, the key word is integrity. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm the same way, whether you see me or not, whether I'm in my four walls or I'm on the court or whatever the case may be, I'm the same guy. You know what I mean? And you're like one of the most stand-up men, father, you know what I mean? Like all areas, all encompassing husband, you know what I mean? You get busy.
Appreciate that, man. It's humbling to hear that, man. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. But let's say, how old were you when you started playing ball?
I was in the 8th grade, so I might have been 13, I think. Organized basketball. Because the crazy thing is, what a lot of people who just recently got to know me or know of me, they don't know that football is my first love. And if you go back to Elizabeth, 95% of the people in Elizabeth will tell you, and whoever that supports me or that's fans of mine, that they think I'm better in football.
Right.
But what I you know what it was, TJ? It was the cold for me. Like, as much as I love football, I remember it might have been my 9th grade year. We was out in the cold practice. It was one of those November days, was cold as ever outside, and we doing all these drills, and I just like, man, I ain't just gonna be out here. And I that's when I just said, nah, you know what? I love football, but I ain't with this cold stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not with this cold stuff. I wound up getting a helmet to my knuckle, and man, my knuckle, when you cold, you can hardly feel anything. But it was just like, man, I and that's when I started to focus on basketball after my 9th grade year. But I started playing started playing organized basketball in eighth grade.
Word. And we got some questions coming in, man. B-Jock City want to know what opponent made you cringe when you stepped on the court.
Damn, that's a good question. You know what? Nobody. I guess because like when I first started playing basketball, I was always playing with the older guys. So like I learned tough love right from I pretty much got thrown out there with the Sharks. So I never cringed from nobody. Now, highly respected. I remember, I think the first person that I think I've ever, like, damn, I got my hands full, probably was Allen Iverson.
He was like that. He was a headache for a lot of players.
You know why? Because, like, watching him, so many people idolize him. I watched him, you know, just posterize and all, you know, all in the game. I would never forget this. We're playing in Philly, and I got all my family coming up from Jersey, like some people from college, you know, that's coming to support me. And all I'm thinking, Horace, whatever you do, don't let him cross you up. You know what I'm saying? So it was just kind of like, but I had to kind of shake it off. But the only thing I'm upset at that I wasn't in a situation where I can go right back at him. Like you seen me get in my bag, and really when I'm in my bag, I'm locked in. But I checked in the game. Chauncey picked up his third foul, and it might be like 7 minutes left in the second quarter. So I checks in the game. I didn't even get a chance to rip my warm up and wipe the bottom of my sneaker. And AI he looked, and man, he was like, man, ho, move. He called like 3 straight clouds on me from the like, yo, hey, TJ, I was so mad because I like, yo, he disrespect, like really like I'm baby food or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, move. So I called him by his first name. I said, Alan, this ain't even that type of party, man. You talking about like clear out. Like you ain't gonna be doing what you want to do to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that's the first person I didn't cringe, but I'm just like, damn, I got my hands full. I would say Allen Iverson. No.
And for those that don't know or never seen you play, let me tell you, my guy right here is an assassin, straight cold-blooded killer. Let's be clear. Let everyone be put on notice. Piparelli chimed in and said Horace is a great dude. It's all about the game and teaching these kids the right way to play. He absolutely is.
Hey, Pete, man, how you doing? I appreciate that, man. Pete, you my guy. You know, I got a lot of love for you, man. And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to work with Josh, man. You know, to see his growth over the last year and the type of relationship that I've been able to form with him, and watching the things that I'm helping instill in him and teaching him come to fruition and live action, man. For me, that's what it's all about. You know, that's the reward for me. You can't put a price tag on anything like that. So, you know, I appreciate that, Pete. And I got a lot of love for you, man. Thank you for that opportunity.
We got another one. Did you have any particularly special interactions with Ben Wallace or Chauncey Billups or any of the other guys? I love it when players have like cool locker room moments.
Yeah. It's definitely like, we probably need 2 hours to speak about some of those moments, man. But, you know, it was a brotherhood. I can honestly say that team outside of my college team was the in terms of a brotherhood fraternity was the best thing that I played on, because everybody pulled for one another. Everybody, you know, would never want to see another one of our brothers down, man. And those guys, you know, I remember being in I think Los Angeles. It was me, Ben Wallace, and Ronald Dupree, and we go out to the club or whatever, and you know, everybody coming up to Ben, and he introduced to me like, man, this is my peoples right here. You know, y'all better keep an eye out on for him or whatever. And it's just funny because he paid for every drink I had, man. Every drink he would not let me spend, you know, no money, man. So the humanity from him, it was, you know, he's a stand-up guy, man, but he was even more better. He was a hell of a basketball player, but he was an even better person. And Chauncey, the most humblingest moment that I had with Chauncey, when I first signed with Detroit, Chauncey was the first person that I spoke to.
Okay.
I remember sitting in Joe Dumars' office. He got Chauncey on the phone, and Chauncey said, "Look, man, I watched, I saw a lot, I heard a lot of good things about you, and I'm happy to have you aboard, man. If you need anything, don't, here's my number. You can hit me." And we chopped it up a lot in practice. We worked out with each other, played a lot of one-on-one, always on the opposite team, pushing each other and competing at the highest level. And he always pulled for me, man. So it was just, he invited me over to his house. I remember going to watch a fight. Him and I just had some surreal moments, man, where we just it just, you look at guys as in such a high regard in terms of seeing them on TV every day, but when you know them personally, it's a lot different, man. And he's probably one of the better guys in terms of high profile people that I've ever met in my life.
Word. We got another question from Prince Sean. Prince Shango, my man, he's a pro wrestler. Can you explain the feeling you had making it to the NBA?
Yeah, that's one of the questions I think I love, or I enjoy answering the best, because that feeling, it's hard for me to put it in words, but whatever you think that feeling is, times 10. Because for me, I came from the mud. I got it from the mud, and where I got it from, it was designed for you not to make it. So, I had a lot of people who didn't believe and didn't believe that I can make it. You know what I'm saying? I was eligible my senior year in high school. I had to take a different route than just the average person or whatever. So the route that I had to take makes me appreciate that even more, because I wouldn't take no for an answer, but I can honestly say that I prophesized this. I remember telling friends of mine and just people I was in school with, man, when I get to the NBA, and they would kind of look at me like, because the chances, like, there's a 3.2 or whatever percent child that make it in this world. So, that when I first made it, putting that jersey on, when I first signed the contract, it was just a wow moment for me. But I remember wearing jerseys of these NBA players, and now to see my name on the back of an NBA jersey was absolutely, it was just such an emotional moment for me, because it was just like, I knew that I made it. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like everything under the sun, and all the hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears that I shed throughout the course of that journey, it was well worth it. And anything that you think the NBA can be, or you imagine that the NBA, it was that to the 20th power for me. You know what I mean? And that, and being on NBA Live 2006, that's when I knew, for me, the tattoos and all the mannerisms and all that was forever. I remember creating my guy when I was a kid, and I remember creating, or how they do now, even in 2K, to actually be on a video game, man. That was such a surreal moment. So it was everything to me. Everything. Nothing compares to that.
Another question. I love the people that are watching the show, because they chime in with crazy questions. What was it like going home to your home state and playing against the Nets and a player like Jason Kidd with crazy ball IQ?
It was bittersweet, and I say it's bittersweet because I was hoping that the Nets drafted me. The Nets. I went to college at Wayne-Patterson University in Wayne, New Jersey, and the Nets will always come watch me play. I spoke to I think it was Rod Thorne a numerous amount of times. So Byron Scott was a coach. He come watch me play in Pro-Am leagues in Jersey, where I'm averaging 46, and he would say things to people in the crowd like, this guy is special. So it was bittersweet, because as much as I would have loved to stay and play for the home team, I didn't get that opportunity. But it was great, because, like you said, somebody to be able to lace him up against a guy as great as Jason Kidd was just like, wow. You look at them, and sometimes these moments, you envision this or whatever. So for it to come to real life fruition, man, was just like, wow. But the toughest thing was coming home, when all your family and friends there watching. So all I'm thinking in my mind is like, whatever you do, don't be on the ESPN top 10. You know what I'm saying?
Don't get highlighted.
Right.
Don't get highlighted. What was the best team you've ever played on?
Oh man, damn. I played on some great teams, man. But I think I would say Detroit. I would say Detroit. Because from top to bottom, that was the most talent that I've ever been surrounded by. You know what I'm saying? I was the smallest guy on the team at 6'1" and 3/4 or whatever. And, you know, we was able to make it to the NBA championship. I got a chance to experience what the NBA finals is actually like, just inside and out, you know. So that was such a humbling experience for me, because, you know, you always think about what it's like when you see it. Like even watching the NBA finals now, and I always just envision as a kid, you know, winning the championship and all the confetti falling on you. But unfortunately, I was on the I was on the opposite end of that. You know, we lost in Game 7, a close game, and, you know, I was just a couple seconds away from getting not only getting the NBA experience, but getting the ring. But just the experience alone, that's something that I value for the rest of my life.
Those were, my brother just chimed in again. He said those were some great years in Detroit. Absolutely.
No, it definitely was. It definitely was. Like, and the funny thing is, like, you know, you always think, what if? You know, after my first year in Detroit, I had a chance to I had an offer. Dumars, who really he loved me or whatever. Larry Brown, that was a different story. I'm not saying he didn't like me, but I wasn't the prototypical what's the best way to say it, type guard that he liked or whatever. Right. So it was kind of up in the air where Dumars was offering me a 1+1, which means he'll bring me back. And, you know, he explained to me, you know, I know, you know, the situation in terms of it being a tough situation with the way, you know, Larry Brown coaches and what he expects from you and don't expect from you and so forth, so on. Right. And I was, you know, I was intrigued because I loved the chemistry that I had with the players. You know, it was a brotherhood. But what Detroit was willing to pay me for the 1+1, a team in Israel offered that for 1 year. And like I said, I got it from the mud, man. I'm from the hood. And dollars make sense. So, you know, I wound up taking that offer. And the reason why I took that offer, because there's a difference when someone offers you something verbally, right? Mm-hmm. When they send you the contract,
right,
and you're reading the fine lines, that's when it hit a little different, TJ. So for me, it was kind of like I was still up in the air until I actually got I got the actual contract, and I start looking at those numbers, like, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even read the whole contract. I just saw those numbers and I was ready to sign.
Keep it pushing. Let's go.
Yeah, that's
We're taking this flight.
Whatever I got to work out when I get there, I'll work it out. And that was one of the better years of my life. That was not only a great decision, but man, that experience in Israel was phenomenal. Everything that I thought it wouldn't be, it was. You know, because like, it's funny how CNN or the news portrays a certain area to be what it's not. You know, it was always suicide bombings and this, and I'm like, man, I ain't going to play over in Israel or whatever. So I was promised by the general manager, like, listen, you come over here, you'll love it. They treated me, everything was first class. You know, they put me in a huge house. You know, I got first class everything, man. So it was phenomenal. And the country is one of the best, actually the best country that I've been in. And I've been in a lot of places in Europe because it was so Americanized. It was Israel, like Tel Aviv, and it's like South Beach. So it was phenomenal there. So that decision, I have no regrets about.
So my man Shango chimed in. He said, what are your thoughts on the NBA today? And we're going to break that down a little bit because I got some more spicy questions for you. We're going to get to the bottom of this fucking GOAT talk.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I can never knock. The era is the era, and at the end of the day, you just gotta adjust to the era. I think it's. I don't want to say watered down, but I think it's and I'm speaking from experience, my own experience. It was a lot more difficult to do what's being done today. I'll say that.
Right.
And because you have to adjust to the rules. It's not, the physicality is not as physical or whatever. So the advantage is always going to go to the offense. And that's why you see guys having so much success. Damian Lillard and Trae Young and Luka Doncic. And, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you're talking about the best athletes in the world. So if you're allowing an advantage to guys that are as great as those guys are, they're going to have success and a multitude of success. So, I salute those guys, man. But I do think it's like I said, I don't want to say watered down because that make it sound like you hating. But I think it's this era is it's a lot more easier to adjust to. Let's just say that, because I want to use my words wisely, because sometimes it can spend like, oh, this guy hating on this. I'm never hating, man. There's a lot of talent in the NBA, and I just think this era is a lot more is catered to offensive players. Let's just say that.
Absolutely is. Absolutely is. We got another question from, man, these guys is hitting you tonight. If there was one thing you could change about your journey, what would it be and why?
You know what? Honestly, I love this question. And whoever that is, I appreciate you asking me this.
Doc City, that's my guy.
I appreciate this. If I can change anything, I would change absolutely nothing. Nothing about it. And you know why I say that? Because the hardships throughout my journey has helped groom me into the person that I became today. And me being on the outside looking in my senior year humbled me to a point that I will never look failure in the face again, ever.
Right.
That's the hardest thing, when you got to be on the outside looking in. So that experience alone fueled such a hunger in me that I knew I was going to make it. I knew I wasn't going to be denied. And when I got the opportunity to showcase that again, I will never let anyone take that from me. So that frustration that I had, that, just that resentment that I had for not being able to play my senior year, I turned that negative into a positive, and it helped propel me to have the ultimate success, just with my professional career. So I wouldn't change anything, because those life lessons helped me become the man that I am today.
Word. And I appreciate, we've had so many conversations, right? Like, me and you do this all the time, but we don't ever talk about basketball.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your level of honesty, right? Because it's hard to get, that authenticity that we talk about.
Yeah.
So now my brother's chiming in. Who's the GOAT? MJ, tell these kids.
You know what? And honestly, for me, Magic Johnson is my favorite player all time. But for me, I believe Michael Jordan is the GOAT. That's just my personal opinion. And I'm not even a Michael Jordan fan, but I respect his level of greatness. Like, I couldn't stand him because he beat my Lakers, and he just dominated at such a level that, like, nobody was winning when Michael Jordan. Once he figured that Da Vinci Code out and got to the top of his game, it was just like, you got to think about this, right? He won 3 straight. He left for 18 months to go play baseball, came back, in the kind of end of the season, they lost in the play, but then won another 3. Like, that's absurd, man. That's absurd to me. So my personal opinion, I believe Michael Jordan is the GOAT. Now, this generation obviously will say LeBron, and LeBron. And I'll tell you one thing: LeBron has some fans, man, some fanatics, man.
It's what, I've seen some trolls and some internet people in my life act a fool.
Yeah.
But these LeBron fans,
yeah, man,
they act, yo, I swear to God, they act like Spike Lee and the Knicks.
Nah, they different. They different. They are different.
Bro.
And I believe that's what makes a lot of people who aren't fans of LeBron, not necessarily, not saying like they don't like him, but I'm saying they're just not big LeBron fans. Like maybe they Michael Jordan fans or Magic Johnson fans. But that's what makes it. It's more of his fan base that we kind of get irritated by. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right? Yeah, absolutely.
It's not necessarily like I respect LeBron as a great player. His greatness can't be denied, and I believe he is going to be one of the top 3 to ever play basketball, without a doubt. I'm not a person that doesn't look at things logically and hate or whatever because I'm not a fan of his. He's great, no denying that.
Right.
But I think his fans, most of his fans, I'm not going to say his fans, I apologize for that, but a lot of his fans, they just go so overboard that they blind themselves to reality for me. And the reality of things that, you know, that they see or things that came before him, or, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
But the person who I think is the greatest, I think Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player that I've seen.
Yeah, and you already know my feelings on it. I agree wholeheartedly. My brother Cleve chimed in. He is a diehard Barkley fan. Hated him too and feel exactly the same. Respect. Shango chimes in. Shannon Sharp voice. Come on, Skip. Here we go.
Oh, that must be a LeBron fan. If he says Shannon Sharp voice, because you know how hard Shannon Sharp go for LeBron, boy. Whoo.
Yo, what's wild is my guy Prince Shango does a spot on Shannon Sharp impersonation. So we be having him do this shit to talk about LeBron. It's gold, bro. I promise you, it's gold. We got Bron's a crybaby. Cleve says so on point. Pete said, in your opinion, who's the best young, most complete player now, and whose game do you like the most in the NBA? I got an answer for that, but I'm gonna let you go first.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I'm a big fan of Ja Morant. I like that young, very talented kid. But, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest, Luka Doncic is special. Luka Doncic is special. What I seen him do this year, and I played in Europe, so I know a lot about Europe. And I sometimes I'll be kind of like, why they be giving these Europeans, you know, so much props or whatever, you know? But Luka Doncic was playing professional ball at 14 years old in the top league in Europe.
And handing out
top
work.
league in Europe.
And handing out work.
And yes. And so he's 14, to me,
and
he's
16.
hands above the top young player for me. That kid's special. Man.
I love the fact, and that's my guy too. That's who I was gonna say is, you know, I think he's gonna win several MVPs and several chips before his career is done. His patience to allow the game to come to him, and he just sits in the pocket and watches plays develop and watches.
TJ, you can't teach that, TJ. That's a gift, man. That's a gift. Yeah. You can't teach that. That's what I was watching. And you talking about, they saying Paul George and Kawhi Leonard is two of arguably the best wing defenders in the NBA.
Sure.
And he was just doing whatever he wanted to them. They had no answer. He beat them without what's his name? Porzingis. He beat them without Porzingis.
Yeah.
TJ, they threw everybody in the kitchen sink, the math book, the lawyer's book, encyclopedia. They had no answers.
Yo, can you hear me? I think your mic went out.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh no, you good. It must have been when you got excited. Your mic wasn't handling it.
Oh.
We got some comments. He is special, and people think European. Nah, he's not soft at all, Pete.
Nothing is soft about him. Nothing, Pete. Nothing.
Too many.
Now, I'm not saying all Europeans aren't soft, but he ain't soft.
He's not at all. My niece Natalia. Hey, honey, how are you? Love you. Luka's special, bro. Now let's get to some spicy shit because I'm not gonna keep you all night because you know my ass gotta go to work, right? Who has ever given you the business on the court? Who has dropped them numbers on you? Who has given you that work?
TJ, I'm gonna be honest with you. You know you my guy, man. I look at you like a brother.
Absolutely.
Nobody has ever just given me that work. Now, I'm not saying people didn't scorn me or had good days on me, but that was the defensive side of the ball is something that I took so much pride in. So it's kind of like, what's the use of me getting 30 or 40 if my man got 20 or 30? You know what I'm saying? You know, so right. That was something that I never got enough credit for or whatever because I was able to dominate offensively.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's what people pay most attention to. But nobody has ever. Now I faced some hellified talent throughout the course of my basketball career. Now, if you're asking me the toughest person that who used to fuck, I hated playing, and I'm talking about this motherfucker. He was like a point guard. This kid named from Italy named Gianmarco Pasecco. I'm telling you, man, excuse my mouth, but this little fucker just drove me crazy because he had an answer for everything. Everything. And 90% of the offense that he ran was pick and roll. If I go under, he would shoot. If I go over top, he just had an answer for everything. And he was like Jason Kidd. He was 2 steps ahead of everything that I think. And I hate it. He told me that I was by far the best player he played against and the toughest player. But little do he know, he was a fucking nightmare for me. He was a nightmare because I just could not figure. Usually I can pay attention to a player that I'm playing against and look at his strengths and the things that he's not comfortable with, and I can make my adjustments in game. I cannot figure this guy out. I just cannot figure Gianmarco Pasecco. And if you out there listening, Gianmarco, salute to you, man. You little fucker. I couldn't stand guarding you, dog.
I'm going to ask you one more league question and then we're going to switch topics because you know what's coming next. What's the difference between NBA ball and world balling?
Well, the NBA, it's an elite level and it's the cream of the crop and it's the best of the best. And I'm going to tell you something. I like that question too. Making it to the NBA, I think sometimes people may take that for granted or just don't understand the magnitude behind that. Because my uncle said to me one time at a family gathering, he pulled me aside and he said to me, he said, hey nephew, I'm proud of you, man. And I just kind of took it like, man, thanks, uncle. I appreciate that. That mean a lot to me. And his exact words to me, he said, nah, Neff, listen to me, man. I got a chance to say in my lifetime that because they consider the NBA the top players in the world. So it's maybe 470 something players.
420.
420. My uncle said to me, I got a chance to say that at one point in time in my life, my nephew was one of the 420 best players in the world.
Right.
TJ, I never thought of it like that or whatever. And I never even looked at it like that. I was just grateful and blessed to have an opportunity to put on an NBA jersey and fulfill a lifelong dream of mine. But that really put things into perspective for me. So for me, the difference between an NBA player and a world baller, NBA is it don't get no higher than that. That's the highest level. That's the pinnacle. You know what I'm saying? Don't get no higher than that. So those are the top players in the world. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people out there who are probably more talented or maybe even better than some players or whatever, and just didn't get their share fair or their break or whatever. But I just salute the NBA because I understand what that journey's like, and to maintain that level of success, it takes a lot of sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? You got to really be tuned in and locked in to maintain that level of success. So, in my personal opinion, that I think that level NBA is the top in the world, and like even in Europe, there's some top level players, but you know, their games are suited for top level in Europe, because the NBA, you're talking about the greatest athletes, the most explosive players, the quickest players in the world. So
before we switch topics, like, because we need to switch topics to go where I'm going here. But there were some things that I wanted to touch on. The dunk contest,
right?
The 2001 NCAA dunk contest. That you won that, correct?
Yes.
I'm just throwing out accolades. We're not staying on that. I just wanted to let y'all know my man got bunnies too, and we'll bang on you, silly.
And the funny thing is, TJ, I was the only Division III player there, invited, and you know what I'm saying? So it was just kind of like, I went in it, and you know, man, you always talk about this underdog thing. Like, I don't like the label underdog, because I feel like you put me in the room with anybody, I'm gonna make a name for myself, I'm gonna stand up, and I'll walk out with your respect at the end of the day. And it'll be far-fetched to think that I won't be amongst, I feel at least, that I won't leave out amongst the top players. So just coming from a small school, I just always had that underdog. But I walked in there just as confident as ever, you know. And before, I remember telling my mom, God rest her soul, Mom, I'm gonna come back with that trophy, and I fulfilled that, man. So that's a cool story. I just wanted to share.
Let's get to the music, bro, because this is what we talk about all the time.
Right.
Who are your top 5 artists right now?
Right now?
Ah,
TJ, you put me on the spot, man.
Damn right I did.
Because I'm not.
We can
I'm
talk
not
about
really.
ball all day.
I'm not. I'm not really heavily involved with the newer artists per se or whatever. And I don't knock them or whatever. I just don't really. I haven't really gotten into them.
Yeah. Let me rephrase
today, my top 5 will be. Of course, you know, I got to put my boy Jada in there. I'm just a Jada fan. However you draw it up, however you want to spin it, Jada Kiss is my guy. Fabulous. I'm a big fan of Fabulous. You know, I'm gonna put my boy Joey in there. Although he's retired, I'm saying that Facts. You know he hit different. Drake and and Hove. And Jay-Z. I'm saying, although he's not making music, I'm just saying, for me, those are people that I can connect with, like musically, lyrically, just, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I said Drake because Drake is a artist of many talents, man. Like, at first I'm kind of like, man, I can't get into that dude, but you know, just to have that level of success that he's had for the duration of his career is crazy, though. It's crazy.
He's an entertainer. I think people take away from that, but he's in that pound for pound. He's an entertainer.
Most definitely.
So what's in your playlist right now? Who are you listening to right now?
Believe it or not, you know, I'm listening to Jada, Pop Smoke, Jada, Pop Smoke, got some Drake, got some Fab, Jeezy, and I still be listening to a Boot Camp Clip. I was always a big fan of that. So I'm a hip hop historian, and you know, man, this is a whole other segment. We might got to do a whole other segment with this, and to really dig into, you know, the artistry of music, and you know what I'm saying, what my preference is or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I want to say one of my best memories with you is the night that we had the rap battles at my house, and we had all my peoples come over.
Yeah.
One of the dopest nights, bro.
Man, and you know how me and you dissect lyrics and delivery and substance, and that night, man, I don't know what Low Deluxe hurt me so much. And And it wasn't like Murder Mook was saying anything spectacular. It was just that, I guess I equivalent it to basketball. Lux had an off night, because I believe right now, if he step in front of Loaded Lux right now, like Lux trying to know you what, I kind of went away from, I think Lux would chew him.
Oh yeah,
right now.
It would be disrespectful right now.
Because what he did to Surf, that hurt me, bro. That hurt me. What
you
he
know
did to
how
Jersey,
I feel. I was ready to take a day off of work.
Yeah, yo, that hurt me, TJ.
I was talking spicy.
Yeah, because Surf had me so like he was ready, he was locked in, he was talking spicy to Lux. But man, Lux was nobody would have beat Lux. That Lux was
he an alien.
Yeah, he is. He's
an alien. Now I'm gonna name some names, right? And you just gotta pick one. All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you two artist names. You gotta pick one. Jay-Z or Nas?
Yo, TJ, you wrong.
I just need a name.
Jay-Z.
Biggie or Pac?
But I respect Nas.
Okay. Biggie or Pac?
Biggie, and that's the greatest rapper of all time. Biggie over anybody. I don't care. We can argue to the cows come out the moon, jump back over. I don't think no rapper in the history of hip hop can ever duplicate or match what, from a talent perspective, what Big possessed, man. We talk about this a lot.
Absolutely.
For me, it's just different. You talking about things that I'm listening to. His from 96 that I'm just catching really what he was talking about.
Word.
So for me, I'm sorry I got off the top, but Big, no debate with me. Notorious B.I.G. forever.
Facts. Method Man or Redman?
Oh, come on, TJ. Damn. Dog, you hitting below the belt. Jersey, man, Redman. But I'm a big Meth fan. I like Meth. I rock with Meth.
Lauryn Hill or Lil' Kim?
Lauryn Hill, no debate for me. And I respect Lil' Kim. She had one of the hardest female hip-hop albums of all time, first album. But Lauryn Hill, that's a certified masterpiece.
Absolutely.
The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, that is a certified masterpiece. And I'm talking about that album might be one of the top 5 albums ever, any genre, ever.
Thanks. Rick Ross or T.I.?
Damn, Biggs.
Yo, I'm just here.
Ross.
Yeah.
But I like T.I. got some music that I like, but I would say Ross.
As we wrap it up, man, if you have one thing to say to a young baller coming up, any type of advice, what would you say to him?
I would say, man, commit yourself to excellence and don't allow anybody to deny you your dream, man. At the end of the day, dreams are made to be fulfilled. But a lot of times, we try to don't live a life that somebody else think is best for you. Set goals for yourself, stay locked in, man, stay in the gym, perfect your craft, continue to work on your craft. And when you get to a roadblock, man, don't get discouraged, because life is about obstacles. You got to overcome adversity, and you're going to be facing a lot of but that's what make you who you become, who you eventually become. You know what I'm saying? Like, tough times don't last. Tough people do.
You already know.
I would tell you, stick to
on my arm.
Stick to your guns, and I live by, my company is named, and I was inspired by Jadakiss said this in Welcome to Deep Block. He said determination, dedication, and discipline. And my company is, my training company. If anybody's interested, looking for training, I'll shoot TJ the information. Follow me on Facebook, 3D Horace Jenkins 3D Elite. On Facebook, Horace Jenkins 3D Elite Training or whatever. But I live by that. Throughout the course of my life, You know, that's just, I felt that when he said that, and I've been so inspired by that. So for years, since I first heard that, might have been 2004, I've always lived by that. That's been my mantra: determination, dedication, discipline. Determination, dedication, discipline. And those are 3 Ds that I live by, man. So if you know, inspired by that, man, just stick to it. Stay true to yourself. Stay away from, you know, any type of negative energy, and shoot for the stars, man.
I tell these kids all the time, you gotta guard your energy, man. Everybody ain't for you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm happy you said that, because I think they need to hear that. Everybody's not for you. And sometimes throughout the course of your journey, you're going to lose people. But just because you lose people don't mean it's the end of the world. Everybody, you can't take everybody where you're trying to go.
Facts.
And God will slowly remove certain people from you for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because, you know, just because they're around you don't mean that they're for you. And a lot of people won't understand, you know, throughout the course of your journey to get whatever it is that you're trying to go, you're gonna have to distance yourself from people. And they may look at it as acting funny, but the real ones understand, you know, he's pursuing something right now.
Absolutely.
So don't be afraid to lose people. Don't lose friends, or, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody won't understand what you're trying to accomplish.
Facts. Now, before we go, I always ask my guests, right? And you're my brother, so this is different, right? But like, is there anything you want to ask me before we head out of here tonight?
You know what's crazy? I probably have asked you more than anybody asked you, just from a conversation that we had. But
right,
I'm inspired by watching your dedication in terms of, you know, just changing your life around from just kind of running around younger, not understanding life, and kind of just being, you know, young and out of control. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What was your biggest inspiration to you turning your life around for the better, to pouring into the younger generation right now and inspiring so many people? And it's crazy because even now, and I feel like so many people have so many great things to say about you, you know, but what I respect about you the most is that you embrace your imperfections. You know what I'm saying? Like, you understand, like, I was, this is what I was, whatever. Right. I was running around just young, out of control, not having an understanding of life, but I'm here now to be better for somebody else so they don't make the same mistakes that I made. So what was your biggest inspiration to change your life around and to do what you're doing now?
You know, before God stepped in, right, in the most miraculous way, you know, and I'm not here to say I'm a drug addict. I'm in recovery. I have 11 plus years clean, but I remember like the look my mom would give me and my now wife would give me when I was just not getting it, you know, and I would pray every night, and I would be high and I would be dope sick. And I would pray, just let me get a good night's sleep, God. And I promise you, whatever you need me to do, right, I got you. And, you know, at the end of that road, it was one night turning into 2 nights, turning into 3 nights, turning into 4 nights. The withdrawals left me, you know, and my greatest inspiration was that, you know, people loved me unconditionally when I didn't know how to love myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's hard, man. That just hit me. That just hit me totally different, because I can relate to what you're saying. You know, it's easy to love somebody when you got everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's easy to love somebody when you kind of down and out on your luck, and only thing you have to offer is you, but people can still love you wholeheartedly, even when you don't understand how to love yourself. That's real, man. That's real inspiring, TJ. That's big time, dog.
You know,
And I'm gonna tell
like,
you, you lucky, man. Your wife is a queen, man. And
she really is.
I think she's helped bring a better you out of you than you can ever bring out of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because you're still trying to understand to this day, like, damn, how could you love me the way that you love me at that particular time of my life? And I didn't even love myself.
Man, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. It takes a hero to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's different, man. And you know, people hear me put her on a pedestal a lot, but like, God is like this miraculous chess player, and he puts pieces in your life to save you.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
He makes miracles look like coincidences.
Right.
Right. And so, like, I couldn't figure out at the time, but I know now that my wife was supposed to be in my life, and she was supposed to be in this journey with me. And now we take everything head on together, and we smash it. We set goals, and we kill that shit. You know what I mean?
And that's what you said. You hit it on the nose. My fiance, soon to be wife. That's my wife. I'm going to speak this into existence. But and I talked to you about this. I talked to you about this.
Mm-hmm.
God definitely placed her in my life, because when I had everything, I was at the pivotal peak of my career. Mm-hmm. You don't know who really love you. You know what I'm saying? Because right. You get love from everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But they love what they see. So many people love me because of my stardom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My wife now love me for me. I wasn't playing professional anymore. I just had a stardom of level. I played professionally, whatever. So she loved me for me. And I tell her, I can reciprocate what you give me, but I can't even begin to let you know the appreciation that I have, because so many people really didn't get to know who I truly am outside of basketball. Not the star basketball player, not the sports icon, not this, not that. I'm talking about me. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, you got to know me. We don't even, a lot of times, we don't even speak about basketball. We speak about life. And this is why I respect you so much. So when you just said that about your wife, this is why I love my wife so much, you know, and I'm so content with her, right. Because I know she's perfect for me. And it's no coincidence that God aligned her to be with me, you know, and I understand that. I couldn't understand it before, because, you know, I remember having a lot of women, but I wasn't happy. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I know, like, our souls meshed, and her energy from the first conversation that I had with her, like, that's kind of like, it was like love at first sight. Like, I used to think, man, like, you gonna love somebody at first sight, but that energy, man,
different.
It's different, man. Yeah.
It's different. It's different. But with that, bro, listen, I love you to the max. And if people don't know, me and him don't ever talk about basketball. This was the first time in probably 5 years me and him really sat down and talked about basketball, because normally we talk about life, music, how our kids are doing, just man shit. I love you and I respect you to the utmost, brother. And I was told to give people their flowers while they still here so they can smell them. I hope I did that today. I hope you have a happy birthday, King. You know, it's nothing but salute and love, brother.
I appreciate you, TJ. Thanks for having me, man. I love you twice back, my guy. You know, man, me and you, it's just different, man. I just appreciate you. Allow me to share some of my experience and some of my life on your platform, man. This is beautiful. Keep doing your thing. You know, you're going to have my unlimited support, man. I appreciate everything that you're doing. Continue to be great, man. Continue to inspire. And even though you may not know, man, just watching your grind and you know what I'm saying, just your everyday, you inspire me just by seeing that, man. You inspire me to continue to try to be as great as I possibly can be. I love you, bro.
Love you back, bro. I appreciate that. And for that, that's all we have for tonight on Spittin with Spitter Horace. We're going to play this outro and we're going to get out of here.
All right.
All right.
I'm looking at the man in the mirror, I need a break. Stress weighs on my soul until it starts to ache. Time pass on these past tracks, what a